Hello, I'm Luke, and welcome to another episode of the Vision to Victory podcast, where we discuss practical ways to turn your dreams into reality. Over the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about being a contributor versus a consumer, and how so much of the meaning and fulfillment we get out of life comes from contributing to the people and the world around us. And we talked about how contributors ask, "How can I help?" versus a consumer who asks, "What's in it for me?" And we, of course, want to be a contributor. We want to be somebody who brings something to the world, who contributes to something that's bigger than ourselves, which we've established that just seeking, personal pleasure or achievement for its own sake is not fulfilling, and it leaves us feeling empty. And today I want to talk about something that keeps coming up as I have conversations with people, and even if I just pay attention to the state of our world and culture. And it's this. It's just the divisive nature of our culture. And I think that anybody listening to this isn't news to anybody, that, whether it's our news and media or a lot of social media and people, talking about their opinions. And there's a lot of things that are divisive and serve to divide us as people. And my hope is that as a contributor, hopefully you want to be something different. You want to be something different. I know I do. And we all have opinions and we all have beliefs about things. And you certainly will never hear me talk about politics on this podcast. But much more than I care about a, ideological worldview or a political opinion or anything like that, I care about contributing in a positive way to everyone around me in my sphere. And I want to be somebody who is a bridge and between, perceived or real divides between people. And I would much rather be known as somebody who is kind, caring, and truthful than somebody who has a well-founded or well-stated, political or ideological, posture. And I hope you feel the same. And so I want to just touch on a couple things that I think can be practically helpful to help us be the kind of people that don't contribute to the divisive nature of our culture, but really be the kind of people that are unifiers and can bridge, gaps between us and other people, based on beliefs or whatever the case might be. One of the first things I would say is, how strongly do you hold your opinions? Do you hold them kind of open-handed, lightly? Or do you hold them like this, closed-fisted? I know this is how it is. And anybody who, contradicts that doesn't know what they're talking about, or some version of that. I have been both. I have been both in my own life. And I would bet that you probably have too. And I'll tell you what I've learned. There's a lot that I could unpack here. But number one, we rarely have all the information. It doesn't matter what it is, but I would say this is particularly applicable when it comes to kind of world events, political or otherwise. It never ceases to amaze me how easy it is for us as people to form very strong opinions about things we know very little about. And we see this all the time on social media, where people, argue and, go back and forth about stuff that they really don't know much about. And it just seems like a complete waste of time and energy. And it's completely counterproductive to anything positive, I would say. And so I would encourage you, number one, to hold your opinions lightly. Hold your opinions lightly and recognize that you don't have all the information. And even if you did, and even if you are right, which you probably don't have enough information to determine that, but even if you are right when it comes to, again, kind of these world events and political things, does your relationship matter more or does proving a point matter more to you? And it has burned me many times in my own life where I've held an opinion strongly, and either because of how much I dug my heels in on an opinion or something, I maybe said something that was hurtful, or I was just flat out wrong. And I realized that I didn't have all the information, and I looked stupid because I was so opinionated about something that I was just frankly wrong about. And so I would just encourage you to realize that our opinions aren't that important. Now, to be clear, I'm not. Opinion is not synonymous with like a conviction, which is a much more personal thing. Like if you've got a faith conviction, or whether it's relating to fidelity in marriage, or kind of moral character related things, by all means stand by your convictions. That's not at all what I'm talking about. And again, convictions are a personal thing. They're for you, not for you to go project on other people. And opinions are things that maybe we of course form, or whether I like this food or I like that color or whatever it is, but they are just that. They are opinions. They are subjective, and we just need to hold them lightly. The other point that I would make here is so hold opinions lightly, and then consider if you find yourself in a position where you are feeling strongly about whatever it is, again, world event, political event, whatever it is, and you feel that feeling when you really want to try to convince somebody of your point of view, I would just, if you can have the awareness to ask yourself, why am I saying what I'm saying? Or why am I doing what I'm doing? Is it to prove a point, or to convert somebody to my opinion or perspective? Or is it to understand maybe where this person is coming from, and to build a bridge between us? And again, it's oftentimes it's not about if we agree or disagree. It's about, okay, I hear your perspective, here's my perspective, let's just build relationship and again, be unified as people instead of divided over, something that, in 100 years is not going to matter. So again, hold opinions lightly, ask the question, why am I saying or doing this? And then I would say maybe one of the most important things that we can do, and this is more just a general posture towards life and beliefs and our own opinions, it's a question of identity. It's who do you want to be? Like, what kind of person do you want to be known for? What kind of person do you want to be remembered as? And for me, I don't want to be known as somebody who has strong opinions about world events, or strong opinions about really much of anything that's not directly related to my own kind of character and contribution to the world. It never ceases to amaze me how much time and energy as people we can spend on things that we have absolutely no control over, and again, have very little information about. And so I would ask the question, who do you want to be? When it comes to the people in your sphere of influence, what would you like them to say about you when you're not there? For me, it really boils down to this. I want to be a light. I want to be somebody who speaks truth and kindness, and who's reliable and consistent. And again, I'm everybody who knows me knows that I'm so pro investing in yourself and being knowledgeable about things and understanding, the world in a way that helps you make sense and to contribute more. But when it comes to our identity as it relates to our sphere of influence, I just want to be somebody who is helpful and kind, and again, unifying in a divisive world. And I hope you want the same. And so I would just encourage you, again, hold your opinions lightly, ask yourself, why am I doing what I'm doing? Or why am I saying this? Or why do I feel so strongly the need to convince this person of something? And then remind yourself who you want to be and what you want to be to the world around you. And I encourage you to be a light before you want to be right. I didn't anticipate that to rhyme, but it did. So maybe that should be on a shirt, but be a light instead of being right. And I hope that's impactful to you. And I hope that you agree. And next time you feel yourself getting worked up about a political issue and you want to talk to somebody about it or whatever it is, just take a step back, hold it lightly. This too shall pass. You don't have all the information, and choose to be a light. Choose to be a light to those around you. If you found this helpful, I hope you'll like, subscribe, share. Talk to you next week.